Alright, so here we are. We're going to do an oil change on the 2005 350Z. It's the HR version of the VQ35. So we got this car up on jack stands. Don't just use a jack, make sure it's on jack stands. And the jacks are just located at the very back end of the front lower control arm. And so it's on a very sturdy part of the suspension. It's exactly where you want a jack stand to be. You don't want it on anything soft. So our second step is we're going to do this plastic under tray. So this plastic under tray, you can see the oil drain plug, which is right here. But the problem is the oil filter is still up inside there, and to do it through that access port would almost be, I would think, be too much of a pain in the butt. And also, you're probably going to get this covered in oil, because when that hot oil comes out, it's going to clip this back end of it. Alright, so 10 millimeter head hexes are going to hold this tray on. You can either use a 10 mil or it looks like a Phillips head, but I'd recommend using a 10 mil. So we're going to take care of these. There's going to be a few of them. Alright, so this is the under tray, just an arrow piece that they have to keep air going quickly under the front end. You'll have a big handful of bolts left over. Make sure you don't lose any of these. They are fairly easy to replace, but you don't want to do that. So right now, we're just going to set that aside, and we're going to go back under and take a look what we got. Alright, so here's our drain plug, our oil sump plug. So now we have unabated, so we have nothing in the way, and also we have really easy access to this oil filter. And Nissan uses a pretty small filter, but I guess it works for them, so we'll keep with it. Okay, so next thing we got to get a socket for that. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to see the path of the drain plug. It's going to lead us down and to the left over here, or in your case, yeah, down to the left. So we want to rotate this pan, get a little bit over. So it's going to come out. It's going to come out a little under force. So what we're going to do, we're just going to break this. Shouldn't be too hard. It's a 14 millimeter socket. So just break it, and then you want to use the rest of your fingers. This is so you don't get your tool all covered in oil. So what you do is you slowly pull this out, and you'll feel when the threads end, because it'll kind of click right there. There's a little click to it, and you just want to pull it out slowly. Boom. Not too bad. Didn't get too much on my hands. So you'll want to let that dry, or let that come out just a minute or two. Should get most of it, especially if it's warm. So it's best to do this with a slightly warm engine. Doesn't need to, definitely don't want it to be scalding hot, but just to have the oil a little bit thinner. Yep. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to torque down the oil drain plug. So this is a 3/8, a little smaller torque drive wrench, because we're only using 22 to 29 is what the owner's manual says. So we're going to put a 14 mil socket on there. Just going to torque it down until it clicks, call it good. So best to put this in using your fingers, because you definitely don't want to strip these threads. So this is just a sheet metal pan. So we're just going to tighten it, just get it snug. So we can move this out of the way for right now. We're going to use it again though in a second when we do the oil filter. We're just going to get a little more clearance. I normally just get the pan clean. Don't want any more dripping on it. So I already have this preset to a little over 22. So we just got to get this thing. There you go. Just a little click, a little audible click. Means it's torqued down to the right setting. On the oil filter. Okay, so next thing we're going to take the oil filter. I already checked it, and it's a little bit tighter, too tight to pull off my hands. Plus, it's a little bit greasy, and I guess my hands are also. So, using an oil filter wrench set, you can find these pretty cheap, Harbor Freight. You can go Sears, Kmart, wherever. They're usually not that bad. So the one I'm using right here is a tapered one, so it's 65 to 68 millimeters. And so that's just the diameter or outside circumference of the filter. So we're just going to put that on. Yeah, see that came off real easy. And so now that I have it loose, same as a drain plug, now you want to get this thing over here because this oil filter has oil in it. So what I do is get this loose. Don't want to get your tools covered in more oil. So there we go. Just spin it off. There you go. Let some of the oil come out. So you don't dump it all over yourself when finally unscrews completely. And it's the same as the drain plug. When you feel you've gone to the end of the threads and it kind of runs out, just aim it down. What I do is I just dump it right in. There we go. Okay. One old oil filter out. So just let that sit for a little bit, just drain out. And the same as drain plug, we're going to start the new one. Okay, so next thing we do, we have our new filter right here. And got our oil we're using the full synthetic. Especially on an engine like this, might as well use it. Alright, so I'm just going to put a little bit in here, just to get it started. And then also, there's another reason for that. Take some of this oil that sits in here, and you want to rub it around this rubber gasket. Because you want to make sure you have a good tight seal. So you're not spraying oil all over the place once you put this on. So once that's oiled up, now it's time to go down. Put this baby on. Okay. So we'll be careful just to spin this thing on. Make sure you don't cross-thread it. Should go on really easy. Shouldn't be too hard at all. Okay, you'll feel it get tight. Just get it snug. And then use the torque wrench. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is we're just going to use the torque wrench again just to make sure we have everything down to the right torque and it's not going to come off. So back under. So like before, let's move this out of our way. Just clean this up a little bit, make sure there's nothing hanging out there. Alright, so we're just going to clean this off, get it out of the way. Get the torque wrench up in here. And so what we're going to just want to make sure it's on there so you're getting an actual real reading. There's torque. See, that's these things they're not exact science, they slip. Okay, sounds like we're good to go. Alright, so just so let's just see, once I pull these back out, what I got here is this piece of some sort of fiber or paperboard. Got it at Home Depot. Absorbs the oil really well, so if you spill on it, not that big of a deal, it contains it. And so what you want to do is make sure you dispose of oil well or correctly. So normally that is, you take the old jug, you just got your new oil in, put your funnel in it, and just take the old stuff, put it in there, and then take that back to your auto parts store, Walmart, wherever you got the oil. Or in my case, I just put it in a 1-gallon milk jug, and every week the trash people come and pick it up with the recycling. Okay, so now we're going to put the tray back on, then we're going to fill it up, and we're going to be done. Okay, so the next thing we're doing, we're just going to lower the car back down on the ground, because when we want to check the oil, we want to make sure the oil pan's level. All right. Okay, next thing we do, we're going to go ahead and fill the oil back into the engine. So here's your fill area. Take this off, set this aside, don't want to lose it. Put your funnel in there, and according to the owner's manual and what I read, it takes a full 5 quarts of oil. So really, you don't even have to measure. We're just going to put this whole thing in. So this is 5 quarts, 5 quarts. So, don't want to spill anything anywhere. Okay. That last little bit out. No sense of wasting it. Now we're done with that. Shake that off, try and get the last little drops out because I don't want to drip it all over everything. Nope. Put it on here, put this back over in your oil pan. So, if you look really closely, it's kind of might be hard on this camera, but there's a lot of little hash marks, and so there's a low and a high. And so you want somewhere in between there, more towards the high, especially since this is, you just filled it up. So you want, when you pull this back out, try and make sure you have the oil film up to at least that. Okay, so now we're just going to turn it over for the first time. So we want to watch this oil pressure gauge, make sure it has oil pressure. If it does not go up, it should go up right as we turn it on. If it does not go up, then you need to turn it off real fast. Make sure you put oil in it. And there we go. We're good to go. We got oil pressure. So we have oil in the system.
See if I can figure out how to do this.
I'll have it reset.
Yeah.
Did you read how to do it?
Well.
Yeah, there we go. Reset.
Reset. Okay. Yes. Oil filter.
Engine. Yeah, reset those. Shit, that's... Oh man, that was fucking loud. Holy crap. Like, hurt my ears. Okay, so next thing, we're going to fill it up. So you just need your funnel. Right here's the filler cap. So just got to get this baby off. Easier said than done sometimes. Fucking Conan Barbarian put this shit on before.